Hey there guys, and welcome to a scams video. Now I'm going to be telling you about a very irritating scam. This is not a scam that's going to cost you a lot of money, but this is a scam that really irritates me because they use young children to do it. It's the flower girl scam. Okay, so let me break this down into two parts. First of all, how does it work? And second of all, why does it work? Okay. So, how does it work? It's fairly simple. You can find this kind of scam happening in any sort of big touristy area. I know in Shenzhen a hotspot for it is the Window of the World area, where I actually took this footage. And also places like Huajianbei or any kind of a nightlife spot, because they operate at night and during the day, doesn't matter. Okay, now, how this scam works is it's fairly simple. You'll find young girls, usually around about 10 years old, sometimes younger, walking around with a handful of roses, sometimes fake, sometimes real. And they will target couples, although they do occasionally target single women. And what they'll do is they'll walk up to them and grab, like physically grab a hold of usually the female in the couple. Now in this picture you can see behind me, you can see it was the boyfriend unfortunately got nabbed. Now, they purposefully are usually quite grubby, so people are taken aback. They don't want this filthy hands grabbing their clothes and stuff. But, anyway, they actually physically hang onto people's legs like a koala on a tree and refuse to let go of the person and refuse to let go of their clothing or whatever until they buy one of these overpriced roses from them. Okay. Now, this is incredibly irritating, okay, especially if you're on a date or you're just taking a walk on the street and this little girl comes and latches onto your girlfriend or latches onto you and refuses to let go, and they will literally, you can keep walking, they won't let go, you will drag them down the road until you give them money to get lost. Okay, so that's the premise, is they, through irritation and through getting your clothes dirty and whatnot, they will get your money just to make them go away. Okay, let's move on to why this works. Okay, why is it that people actually pay them? Well, there are two reasons. Number one, of course, just to get rid of the irritation. Maybe people, and especially people who are in a hurry or perhaps on a romantic date, walking by the seaside or whatever, and this bloody kid comes and interrupts them. Of course, they just want to get rid of it so that they can continue with what they were doing. Well, there's a couple more reasons. The second reason, of course, is that they're always being watched by their handlers. Okay, usually a gang of unscrupulous people. You can see by the picture in the background, this particular little girl had 3 people watching her, who I chased them all out, basically. And in this case, there was a middle-aged woman who may or may not be her mother, but probably not. These gangs usually just rent children or buy them from the parents or whatever for this purpose. So you have the middle-aged woman who seems to be the one coordinating everyone. You have this sort of dodgy old geezer who's kind of giving me the eye the whole time and looking at me and, sort of walking about menacingly. And then you had this sort of other guy who he signaled to, who came to talk to me to try and throw me off, maybe try and threaten me or something, which of course didn't work. So you have this little gang of 3 adults watching just this one child. I have seen more watching one child, and I've also seen this work where there's a bunch of children, like maybe 5 or 6 children, all being controlled at the same time in the same area, just all like on different little sides of the street, etc., etc. I was once sitting for a whole night at a restaurant outdoors just watching how they operate. Anyway, so people are scared of retaliation. So if they try to, physically remove the kid or push the kid away or do anything along those lines, they are scared of the gangs retaliating by either roughing them up or, coming and intimidating them, or in a worst case scenario, maybe stabbing them or something. So that's the second reason why this works. And of course, the third reason is some people just don't know what to do. I remember I was walking past the entrance to the Window of the World station, and there I was walking past, and I noticed there was this lady standing at the top of the escalators there, and she had one of these kids on her leg, and she was just standing there, exacerbated, didn't know what to do, just like looking around as if to say, please help me, because she couldn't get this kid off of her. And I actually went and physically, pulled the kid off her leg and picked her up and put her down and said, bad, don't do that again. And then the lady thanked me and walked off. Personally, it's happened to me about twice, where I've been walking with a friend of mine, like female friend or something, and they will come and latch onto her, and specifically they always do that. They try to go for the woman so that the man feels obliged to pay to get this nuisance away. But it doesn't work with me. I always physically pull them off and put them down and say, don't do that. And they've always been very flabbergasted, because I guess this never happens to them, because they normally just get away with getting the money. Anyway, so I've been talking enough about this. Let's actually see how it works in action. Well, you can see at least me chasing the gang out of the station. So let's take a look. See, this little girl here is a flower scammer. She's obviously got people watching her. So now what she's going to do is look for a couple. See if I can spot this. I think that's her observer over there, this scumbag. It's probably the observer. It's giving me the eye because I'm filming. So now, what I'm going to do is follow this little girl, and you'll find her having targeted a couple. Where is she gone? Oh, Mesha. Just curious. There she is. Yeah. And that's definitely the observer there. That guy is the observer. Yeah, and her as well. So they're keeping an eye on her, and she's going to find a couple to scam. Yeah, this one here, that one there. Now I've made them uncomfortable. Probably going to leave. So, what happens is she'll find a couple, and then she'll grab onto usually the girl and the couple. Yeah, see the observers? Now they're chasing her that way. Yeah. So that guy's escaping over there. Now she's herding her off. Ah, I can see you. Yeah. Yep. I'm chasing them away. They make my life uncomfortable, I make their life uncomfortable. Got that guy, those two. It's only these two observing right now. There he goes. See if I can make them leave. Anyway, let me explain to you the scam. Right, so anyway, after this, they left, and obviously the other observers left through the other side. And of course they'd probably come back later once I had moved on, but at least I got rid of them for a little while out of there. And also the guy who they were scamming, because I went up and I was very blatant about taking photos of what was happening, the little girl actually turned away, and it looks like he got away with not having to pay. As you can see by the smile on his face, I think he was a bit relieved. And that was pretty much it. So my advice to you is, if you do come across this situation, don't give them money, because it's just encouraging them to continue. And this is not a very nice situation, because, like I said, they're getting children to do this nonsense work, and as you can see, it's a very controlled sort of gang operated thing, and it's not pleasant. It's not healthy for the children, and it's not healthy for anyone involved. So don't pay them. If you pull out your phone and pretend to call the police, they usually go. I personally physically, get them off. And also be very careful of your pockets, because while they're grabbing onto you, they could also be like pickpocketing you. So be careful of that. It's not a very nice situation, and yeah, basically, best advice: pretend to call the police on your phone, or even shout out for the police or something, cause a commotion so that they leave you alone. That would be my advice, and that way you probably be able to escape any sort of trouble and any potential retaliation. As a foreigner, I'm 100% sure that the gangs will not try to hurt you or try to intervene. So being a foreigner is a plus here. You can just basically, get rid of them and continue on your way. All right, so now that you guys are aware of it, hopefully you will be able to avoid it. And if you see that little girl coming your way, making a beeline towards you, you just go the other way so that she can't, latch onto your girlfriend's leg or your leg. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. Until next time, stay awesome.